If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good evening and welcome to episode 420 right here on the HHH Racing Podcast of Picks and Ponies. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us tonight as we are here to cover a very good late pick 5 sequence this Saturday at Saratoga featuring the Derby, the Belmont Champ, the current Horse of the Year candidate, and simply the best 3-year-old dirt horse in the world right now, Sovereignty, taking on 4 others plus 1 other stake and 3 other excellent races. Again, fantastic sequence, late pick 5 Saturday. We're here to talk about it at Saratoga. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. You can follow us on X at HHH Racing Pod. It is also on my name tag right there. You can subscribe to our Power Pick tip sheet. Many winners last weekend on the regular Saturday Power Pick tip sheet, on the Del Mar only, the Saratoga only. Quite special. Really good weekend for our expert handicappers. Hopefully last weekend you had a good weekend as well. You can find out a hell of a lot more information on our website, hhhracingpodcast.com. All right, let's see who's here in the chat before I bring on my wonderful co-host. Katie is here. Yes, doubleheader right after our show, 9:30 Eastern. We have moved Pacific Horse Players to Thursday, 9:30 Eastern during the Del Mar meet only, for the main reason that the Del Mar past performances for Saturday do not come out until late Wednesday. And so obviously a Tuesday show would make no sense. And a Wednesday show, our great young guys out west don't have time to handicap. So we moved them to Thursday, again, only during the Del Mar meet. Tom Espinoza is here. Hello. Terry Frank is here. What's up, Terry? How you doing? Oh, look who's here. My good friend Brad Anderson. Looking forward to a dandy show. Well, Brad, it's going to be dandy, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, my friend. Very excited about that as well. And Ed Burke is here also. What's up, Ed? How you doing? All right, let me bring on my great co-hosts. We got a bunch to talk about. Of course, we have a little bit of a deadline now with the PHP guys coming on 9:30 Eastern. So first, let me bring it from the East Coast of Maryland, Mr. Pete Visco, and the Saratoga Special, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and soon to be at his favorite 4-star day bar in Saratoga, Mr. Paul Halloran. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Paul, when do you leave for Saratoga?
Saturday morning, but who's counting?
Oh, so it's gonna be this is a quick trip for you.
Well, it's gonna be an 8-day trip.
Oh, you're gonna be there for the whole week.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. I was thinking you're coming in sort of late, as I'm just watching my other screen a Baffert Monster go by at 1-2 and win in the penultimate leg of the pick 4 at Del Mar, Splendora. Pete, a lot of interesting things happening last week throughout the country. And this weekend is a doozy. We're going to be covering the Jim Dandy's the feature with a horse named Sovereignty.
Yeah, I mean that's more Paul's territory, but yes, we will be. We got to watch journalism last week. Now we get Sovereignty, so hopefully a nice lead in to the rest of the 3-year-old season and on to the Breeders' Cup. So these are the races we look forward to. Hey, Paul, by the way, my cousin Nick, I think, who has been on the show before, he might even be at Saratoga already. I haven't heard from him today. I'll let him know you'll be there Saturday to say hello. But yeah, it's a great weekend. It's nice to see the big boys coming back.
Absolutely. Got to represent, by the way. People probably didn't think I had one, but got the BNB, the Ben and Boozen boys. Got to represent with their hat. Quick question from Sylvain. Paul is the news guy. I'll let you answer that question. Any news on Tyler Connor, who had a really bad spill today at Colonial? They actually canceled the card after the spill.
Yeah, which, I hate to say it, but that was, I thought, a really bad sign. But, understandably, I don't think the jocks themselves were in any hurry to get back out there. The last I heard is he was talking, he was alert. They thought it might be a C1 fracture, as well as, I'm sure there's some other broken bones along the way. But I haven't heard anything definitive as far as long-term movement. But, it's ironic, Howard. I was looking at the Monmouth results from Saturday because I have to write a story for Mid-Atlantic on that, kind of a recap of the day and Monmouth in general. And, he rode that horse that Chris Walsh liked while we were on the air, Surface to Air. He put a great ride on that horse.
Yes.
And, here he is 5 days later being airlifted from. I think that was the concerning thing, when they think it's serious enough that they have to put him on a helicopter and not an ambulance. But anyway, so I haven't heard anything in a few hours, but I got to tell you, from what I was hearing at the very beginning, it seems like it's gone better than expected. So,
well, on X it was from one of his jockey friends, so I'm considering it a pretty reliable source. Broken C1 vertebrae, not paralyzed, and a broken nose. Apparently, I suppose the way serious injuries go with jockeys, Pete, he got away with a scratch per se.
Yeah, I mean, anytime, there's so many bad things that can happen in a spill like that. I didn't watch it. Once I saw that it happened, it's not something I want to watch. But in any kind of spill, I mean, when you're talking about animals that big and anything that can happen, I mean, to come away with, hopefully the prognosis is he'll be back riding again. And if that's the case, then, you always have to count your blessings at that point.
New person in the chat, in the parking lot. What's up, in the parking lot? Like that name, and it looks like could be a female viewer. We love our female viewers. We're talking about Tyler Connor in the parking lot. Tyler Connor is the jockey we're referring to. All right, guys, let's get to the late pick 5. Actually, before we do that, very quickly, I've not shown this in a while. I felt like we should do that. We have a lot of great sponsors on the show. Potentially a new sponsor, by the way, coming up in the next few weeks. Might be an announcement for that, which would be exciting. Cross our fingers. A little shout out to Matt Guterre and Adelphi Racing, who's really sponsored us for several years from the beginning. We love Adelphi Racing Club out in New York. Let's hear from the Adelphi Racing Club before we start our handicapping late pick 5.
Adelphi Racing Club, offering a truly personal thoroughbred ownership experience.
You'll have a lot of fun and excitement, and you'll meet some great people. All the folks I've met so far at Adelphi have just been super, and I've picked up some new friendships along the way.
We're not just a syndicate, and our members aren't just investors. We are partners. Contact us online to get a taste of the Adelphi difference.
Who's that knucklehead in the background with a phone, not even enjoying
Put
the
your
racing?
phone down, man. Come on.
I was actually doing it for the podcast. If I knew it was going to be a commercial, it's on Fox too. Like, not that one, but there's another one. Anyway, it's a little embarrassing that I was holding the phone the whole time. I didn't know it was a commercial. So anyway, that's all good. One last thing. Top right-hand side of the screen above Pete's left shoulder. No, Pete, if you point the wrong direction, I'm not going to say a word about it. There you go, Pete. Wow. He is on fire today. Paul, that was not bad, Paul.
Work,
that
Paul.
is our Power Pick tip sheet. Please check it out. I'm going to leave it up there for a little bit, guys. Our Power Pick tip sheet. It's a QR code. Just take your camera, point at it. Boom. You can sign up for it quickly. We'd really appreciate your patronage. All right. I'm sure everyone else would also appreciate us starting the late pick 5 conversation. Let's get into it right now, guys. Late pick 5 Saturday. Saratoga, Jim Danny Day. Paul Halloran will be there. It starts in race 8. It is a state bred allowance. $95,000 is the purse. 3-year-olds and up. Field of 10. More line favorite in a wide open field is number 9, Kenny B, for Mr. Duggan and Jose Ortiz. I believe second in the standings, at least before today's card. Let's see where we are going to start this late pick 5. I'm going 3-2-8. Paul's going 2-4-9, and Pete is going 3-2-4. So Pete and I see this similarly. Paul is going with 2 horses in the mix that I don't have anywhere in my mix. Very interesting. Paul, you're going to go first. You're going to go with the 2, Stewie, for Mr. James Begg and Irad.
Yeah, Jamie Begg is not a big name, but he can train. He trained some horses for Patrick Lewis, who has very good success on both the jump circuit and the flat circuit. was part of a horse called Red Carpet Ready, who you may remember winning the 8 Bells. I was really conflicted in this race because I'm pretty sure it's going to be won from behind. And I know you're going to say, you look at this too and say, well, Paul, this looks like a speed horse. But boy, I think it's the type of race with a horse like this could be fourth and close and win. I really thought about putting the 10 in the mix, Katie Davis on the far outside, because I think she's going to be flying late. I just don't know if the horse is in general fast enough. Stewie's beaten him twice the last 2 races. I'm just hoping IRAD gets a trip from in there and gets maybe the first run on what I think will be several horses closing, because I just think this race is going to be pretty contentious up front.
All due respect to Christopher Elliott, who is not a bug boy anymore. Who won today at 18-1 on one of the slowest races I've seen at Saratoga in a while.
Yeah.
Was not pretty.
No.
This is a big jockey switch to IRAD, Paul. That's gonna come into play here, you would think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I agree with you. Christopher Elliott's going reason he's not riding this horse is he's riding in the big race at Del Mar. He's going on the Big Crosby. So
good for him.
But yeah, it's nice if you're looking for a jock and IRAD happens to be sitting there, right? The other horse, Howard, I really, let you guys talk, but if you read every day in the special, the 2 printed editions on Wednesday and Sunday, there is a stable tour where one of the guys goes into a barn and does a horse by horse look at who's in the barns. A lot of other people have borrowed the idea, but the special's been doing it. David Duggan was last Wednesday, I believe, and he's had a lot of good things to say about this horse. So I almost picked this horse on top. Again, race flow is a question. So I'll tell you, and vertically to start a pick 5, I don't know that you can be wide enough here unless you're that dreaded ALL button.
Yeah, I think this could be a spread, and Pete and I are sort of going a little different path than you are. Obviously, Pete, we looked at the time form here. We're both going to go with Vikinda, who is for George Weaver, coming off a layoff, but is one of the few horses that looks like can pass others. And I personally don't mind the layoff at all. In fact, I like the layoff.
Yeah, this is a funny race because I talk about it on this show all the time. I go through and I give every horse sort of an ABC or X, so to just as a initial pass, and I had no A's in this race, which almost never happens. So I was like, man, I don't really like anybody all that much, but there is some pace, and I apologize, by the way, for my voice for all the listeners. I have a sinus thing going on, so I probably sound a little nasal today, so my apologies for that. But yeah, this horse, a little seconditis, which we don't like when we're picking horses to win races. You see 5 out of 8 in second, 4 out of 6 at the distance, but does pass horses, and there is enough speed here to where, hey, at some point, maybe a horse like this is going to do enough and close and get the win. But at least generally you get this horse's good run. It's just not always enough to win the race, except for the maiden breaker, as we saw 3 back. But yeah, we come off the layoff. Got a nice work coming in, which I like. So it looks to be really sharp after, like you said, it's a decent enough layoff, but the works have sort of worked their way up to a nice sharp one coming in. And again, I think if we get the pace, he'll be coming late, just the point of whether he's good enough to get the top spot or will he land in that second spot like he tends to do.
Well, he's also shown tactical speed. Like when I say he's not really a closer, just compared to the rest of the horses, he's a closer, but he's really more mid-pack type, Pete, which I like in this situation. Yeah. I think he's going to fire a big shot here. I'm interested in Vikinda, a little bit of a price, and Pete, we both have the logical 2, Stewie in the mix. We've got some others in third. I got the 8. Paul's got the 9. Pete, you've got the 4. Pete and Paul, let you guys just have the floor to finish this race. Any other thoughts here?
What'd you think the 4, Paul? That 4 is weird. If you want to put that on the screen, Howard, that 4 is crazy because you just from a pure buyer standpoint, it comes back off the long layoff as a 3-year-old and just goes nuts. And time form backs it up. And you see that, you go, what the hell do I do with that race? Because if he runs that race again, probably wins this for fun. But who the heck knows? That was at Finger Lakes. Who knows what's going to happen? What did you think of that one, Paul?
Pete, I'm going to tell you what. Yeah, I took a long look at it, Pete. I almost picked that horse. Again, I'll tell you, if he makes the lead, I think he's got a pretty good chance to win.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, not only the overall speed figure, Pete, but, the early, from gate to first turn, right?
Yeah.
And if this horse is in a pack of 5, I don't really see him emerging and winning. Chris Engelhardt is 9 for 123 at Saratoga the last 5 years.
That's so good. Yeah, I had a domestic shipper to Saratoga stat, one for 41.
Yeah.
So about the same.
He brings a Finger Lakes jockey with him, which you can make your own decision on that.
That's worrisome, to use a
Yeah.
Howard style pun.
Very good.
By the way, I don't.
So
you like that, Howard? There you go.
My feeling, Pete, if I'm playing, if I'm going to play an ABC, I'm going to probably make this horse a B, because I think you still might get a decent number on him.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get beat by him, and I don't want to lean too heavily on him.
No, I agree. I agree. And the Lasix, thanks, Tom, for mentioning that. He had added Lasix this last race, so who knows if that helped. But that's just a weird horse, just because of it's not often you see a 30-something point buyer jump like that. So, again, if he runs that race and gets clear, he could be tough at a price.
Guys, I've got 8 horses in my ABC grid, because there's a lot of speed, but what if one of them just outbreaks the other? Like, for example, today, to open up the pick 5, whoops, a little blur there. The one who was a major speed horse and favorite stumbled and changed the entire complexion of the race. That happened today, Thursday, at Saratoga. So it just seems like there's a lot of horses that want to be forward, and I don't know how they're going to break. I'm not freaking Karnak. I mean, so I don't know. I'm gonna spread a lot here, guys. Very tough leg, a tough race, I thought, to start the late pick 5 Saturday at Saratoga. Let's go to the Lake George. Lake George is a place I've never been, but I'd like to go there once. Patrick Hunsel's family's got a place up at Lake George. Have you been to Lake George, Paul? I'm assuming you have.
Believe it or not, I've been going to Saratoga for 40 years, and I'm such a narrow-minded person. The furthest north I've made it is the Wishing Well.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you what, I am going on a 1-hour boat trip on Saratoga Lake next Tuesday, opening my horizon. So maybe Lake George on Monday.
Very nice. Are you a fisherman, Paul, or just sightseeing?
No. I keep telling Kelly Dorman, I'll go fishing with you. You do the fishing. I'll bring the beer, Pete.
All right.
I used to go with a friend in school, and we said only thing we catch when we go fishing is a buzz, Paul. That's about it.
Wow. I'm not a fishing guy either. I mean, I respect it, but it's just, I don't know. I'd rather do some other things, but I hear you. All right. Lake George, grade 3 on the turf. Inner turf, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds restricted. Nitrogen is not in this race, so everyone's got a chance to win. Yeah. $175,000 is the purse. A balanced field here of 10 with an AE who ran, I think that horse just ran today, I think, actually. So that horse is not running. Plus, that'd be an MTO, and the weather's going to be fine Saturday, supposedly. Classic Q, the 5 is the favorite. I'm going to go off the radar here a little bit. I'm going 3-5-10. Paul and Peter Simpatico. Paul's going 10-2-4, and Pete's going 10-5-4. So let's start with Paul. Paul, you're going to go with Play with Fire, a very talented Minnesota bred for Chad and Manny 4-1. Made a nice big move last time and couldn't quite get to Classic Q. Why, my friend, is Play with Fire going to turn the tables on Classic Q Saturday?
Howard, I found it interesting you took a 12-1, because I was very close to putting the 2 on top at 12-1, and now I wish I did, so I could be really off the radar with you.
All right.
I just thought that Classic Q kind of had everything her way last time, and this horse I picked she was 8 lengths behind early. I just don't think it's going to be the same race. I didn't want Classic Q as the favorite coming out of that race. So, I could see Classic Q winning, certainly, and I'll use defensively, but I just don't, I don't want her as the favorite coming out of that race. And if the 10 had a better post, I'd feel a lot more strongly about her. But, I think Manny can maybe work out the trip from out there, be forward. I think you're going to have to be forward, obviously, on the inner thus far this meet. You need to be forward. And, you look in here that this horse is still a long way back and gets to within, what did she get to? Within a half length. So she did make
she's the 6. Play with Fire is
Yeah.
the 6. Classic Q is the 5. Lavender Disaster is the 7. They all got perfect trips, really. And you see, there's Play with Fire swinging wide. Classic Q just ran a huge race here. The turf was very firm and was playing to
Yes.
speed that day. So I think you can give Play with Fire a little bit extra credit. As you see, she just couldn't quite get to Classic Q.
And certainly looking at her versus the 4 in here, Lavender Disaster, who was the 7 there. I don't know why you'd ever put the name Disaster in the name of your horse, but that's another story.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought she ran okay there. I wanted her off that replay and watching that race, live on TV. I wanted her coming out of that race. Again, a little queasy about the post, but hopefully Manny, who's riding very well, can work out the right trip.
Well, I think Manny would be very smart to be up close to where it says there. They do have Classic Q on the lead in a soft pace again, Paul. So she's obviously dangerous, although they're going an extra 16th of a mile. And I agree with about Lavender Disaster. I mean, I know it was just one race and these horses can improve, but based off of that replay that we watched, and I have to give credit to Andy Serling. I know some people don't like his personality and whatever, but that's beside the point in this conversation. He didn't like Lavender Disaster in that last race, and he couldn't have been more correct. I mean, Lavender Disaster just ran around there while I thought Play with Fire really was further back and made a big move. And Lavender Disaster is 5-2 here. I'm sure she can win. It's Chad and Irad, but this feels like a Chad and Irad, Pete, that you want to play against. You have that's 1/3. I don't have this horse anywhere. Paul's got a 3rd. So Lavender Disaster, probably a horse you want to try to take on here to some extent. You're going with Classic Q in 2nd, Pete. I've got this one 2nd. Paul, you don't have this one anywhere. Do you just think she just can't repeat that effort, or you think someone's going to go with her? You don't think Classic Q is? You just want to see it again?
Yeah, again, for the price, I'm willing to try to beat her. But again, I may use defensively, but I just thought she had the best of it last time. And as you said, not that anyone had bad trips, but
yeah,
they were making up ground on her. And I certainly don't love the 4 here, but I'm kind of against Classic Q. I could be wrong. It happened once.
So Pete, you're basically thinking I'm not going to any of the fresh faces. These 3 horses that we just saw on the screen are better than the rest of the field.
No, well, it's funny. I had 5 horses that I was sort of considering for the top 3, and coincidentally, it was the 2 and the 3 are my other ones, and I really like those as well. I only put the 5 on because of the pace advantage potentially, where if the horse just get a clean lead, it gets a little loose. Coincidentally, the best races, the 3 wins for Classic Q are at a mile. So I know we're not adding a ton of distance, but we are adding some. Same with the 10, actually. The 10 Play with Fire. Best 2 races were the last 2 were when she cut back to the 8 furlongs from the 8.5. 2nd now with Chad, though, so maybe that'll bring some improvement, and he knows how to place his horses distance-wise. But I'm with you. I think it's a pretty wide open race, and you're going to talk probably about the 3. Paul could talk about the 2, but I had those right in the mix without much separation from the others, and you're getting a much better price on the 2 and the 3. So I see why you both went that way.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't fully trust those 3 horses to, one of those to win. I mean, it's probably likely, but I don't know. They all got perfect trips too. Now it might happen again, but the fact that they all saved ground, they all got perfect trips, I'm just always dubious that. Paul, this 2 pretty lavish. Who you have in 2nd for Eclipse? I looked at it really carefully. If you like Play with Fire, Paul, you can make the argument why don't you like this 2 horse who was right there to Play with Fire, right? Pimlico 2 back, although that was a very soft turf course and pretty lavish. Just didn't really fire last time in Monmouth, but she can be ranked. She looks like a hard horse to ride, but there is something there. There's some talent there with this 2.
Yeah, and if you take out the graded race, the Florida Oaks, and you're looking at 2 wins in 2 seconds. Motion does not ship for the hell of it. He ships with purpose. I agree, Howard. That's one of the things I looked at. I said this horse was a length behind Play with Fire, and the odds. That's actually the reason I almost took this horse on top, Howard. I said because she was a length behind and 3 times the odds. So I will definitely be using this horse in all slots and hopefully get some kind of a price home. I think the horse has a fighting chance here.
Hey, Paul, real quick, Howard, before you move to the 3, on that 2, the one thing I liked, if you go back, you see the red-coated fractions, was maybe sitting a little closer to the pace, to a hot pace than maybe was to her benefit. And maybe that sapped her kick a little bit. That was the note that I had where when I was thinking about putting her in the top couple was maybe if she sits back a little bit here, but again, we don't expect a lot of pace. So if she sits too far back, is that detrimental? But was last time was she maybe a little too close to the hot pace, and that sort of, sucked a little bit out of the life of her late, and she couldn't kick in like she normally does. But again, maybe if she's too far back now and the 5 gets away, it's harder to close. So it's sort of rocking a hard place with this horse, I think.
Pete, if there's a lot of speed in this race, I'd like the 2 a lot more. You hit the nail on the head.
I agree.
Like,
yeah.
I don't. If we don't like her up close, but it's going to be slow pace, then etc. Guys, Daisy Flyer. I'm literally taking a flyer here. The number 3, Rusty Arnold. I have a ton of respect for. He does not ship to Saratoga very often, and this horse, was in the Miss Gorilla. It was staked as a 2-year-old. So they thought pretty highly of her. Granted, she was a little bit slow then. She came back at Gulfstream in March and ran a huge race at 88-1 against Vixen. I don't think that was a fluke, guys. And guess who was also in the race? Classic Q, who we just saw wire the field. Now, Classic Q is a better animal, of course, now than she was then. But Daisy Flyer is the 7. And I'm just going to go fast forward here. She did get a very good trip. She's in the Claiborne Silks there, saving ground. Here's Vixen, the big favorite, and Classic Q is in the Cassie Silks. But watch the number 7 here, who is the 3 on Saturday. Had to sort of wait here, is in between horses, and it wasn't the most visually impressive finish. It sort of clunked up, but this horse is finishing, guys. I mean, in between, really coming on late, was just trying to, it was just starting to get her mojo. And what we're going to see here in just a second. 1:33.3 was the final time. And of course, it's coming. 3, 2, 1. Here it comes. Maybe eventually. Come on, Gulfstream. There we go. You're like, okay, what is Howard doing? The 7 on the gallop out was good. Past the winner there. So look, I don't know where this horse has been, guys. I clearly am taking a little bit of a stab in the dark. I'm not suggesting this 3 is some kind of lead pipe cinch at 10-1 or anything, but she's been working forwardly. I think there's something there. The breeding is there. I don't love a lot of horses in this race. I don't know, guys. I'm going to take a shot of Daisy Flyer, at least to be in the money. Pete and Paul, may reverse try key action for me. Thoughts on this horse at all?
Yeah, I had as an A level horse for me, just because. Right. What if she moves forward? I think the 88-1 was scaring me a little bit. Like, man, that horse was 88, but
she hadn't really showed anything.
Stupid reason. Yeah, it's a stupid reason to be against the horse a little bit. So
yeah, but she hadn't really showed anything before that, so that's why. Obviously,
no,
they've got her way in the back. She can't be this far back and win this race.
Well, that was the thing I think that ultimately knocked her down for me was she has no early speed, and if she's that far back in the pace we're expecting here, it's probably better for a clunk up. But I could definitely see like a reverse try key kind of thing going on.
Well, she had no early speed then, but I mean, this is 4 months later. Maybe she's just a better
maybe
animal.
They're getting
maybe she's had issues and he's just throwing her in there, and this horse going to finish second to last at 15-1. I'll look stupid. That's very possible also, but that's why it's called gambling, guys. Go ahead,
you should get an aggressive ride. You have a jockey upgrade from all previous starts. You should get an aggressive ride.
Yeah.
Rusty Arnold, Howard, has stabled at Saratoga the last several years. He is not this year. He's shipping like several of the Kentucky guys, but your point is well taken. He's a very good, solid trainer.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's big races at Ellis that are big purses in Kentucky. Then you've got the Rolling Hills of Kentucky Downs after that. Like, why would he be shipping? There seems to be some intent here. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. We'll see, guys. The next race, it's not the second to last race. It's the third to last race, but is by far the feature of the day. I wouldn't say across the country, but it's definitely a feature on the East Coast. It is the Grade 2 Jim Dandy, ladies and gentlemen, featuring Sovereignty, the Derby winner, the Belmont winner. Some people might think the Classic winner eventually November, but we got a ways to go here. It's a 5-horse field, guys. Let's see who we're going. I mean, I'm assuming we're all going with Sovereignty, right? I mean, we can't be that.
Well, what's the bigger race across the country that doesn't have the Derby and Belmont winner in it?
Well, the Grade 1 Bing Crosby out west is the best sprint race this year, as far as I'm concerned. It's a really good race.
I agree.
It's a Grade 1 versus a Grade 2, Paul. I mean, we don't want to make the West Coast guys angry. I mean,
we don't want to kiss their ass either.
Well, I mean, it's a 5. You're saying a 5-horse field.
If you say best race.
Well, I'm just saying.
Top to bottom.
I guess we have to get in the division. No, I think the Bing is a good
it's a
race.
Grade 1, Paul.
Maybe that's a more competitive race. It's a look at. I will be playing happily from Beacon Hill Drive. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it's a Grade 1, so we gotta say it's the most,
Well, and the Vanderbilt's a Grade 2, so we could start with the Graded Stakes Committee. Maybe after Bookham Daniel wins the goddamn sprint this year, if they send him, the Vanderbilt can get its Grade 1 ranking back. Boy, is that idiotic.
I love the mid-show rant. It's the best.
Pete, let me get the Graded Stakes Committee on the phone for Paul and see if we can have a live conference.
It is, like the morning line maker, in all honesty, it is a thankless job to a degree. But when something egregiously stupid is done, like the Vanderbilt going to a Grade 2, it's got to be mentioned. Anyway, we digress.
They should announce it right when they draw the field, Paul. It could be a little suspense. Say today's race is now a Grade 1, and they get all excited. There you go,
guys. I have some very, very important, I won't say breaking news, but intel on this race that I want to share with people that even you, Pete, Paul, you guys don't even know yet, and I'll wait just a minute to talk about it. But it's $500,000, Grade 2, Jim Dandy, a prep for the Travers, local prep for the Travers. You see the field here. It's a field of 5, but 5 very talented runners, of course, led by Sovereignty, who is 2 to 5 morning line. Let's go with our picks first, and then I'll let you guys talk, and then I'll speak to some news that I have here. Wow, Pete, my friend, way to have some guts, Pete. There you go. I'm going 1-5-2. Paul's going 5-1-2, and Pete is exactly the same as I. We both feel, I don't know how strongly Pete feels. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but we feel, at least publicly on the show here, that Sovereignty can be beat on Saturday. We both believe it's with Baeza. Paul's going with 5-1-2. And interesting enough, we have the same 3. I only say that because, Moplex is going to have the lead. Hill Road's a talented horse, but we like the 1, 2, and 5. Paul, I'm going to start with you first. Godolphin people best. Bill Mott best. Junior best. I mean, so these connections very well. I don't know if you've heard anything, between the ropes, so to speak. I'll save my strong opinions here for a little bit, but you're going to go with the Derby and Belmont Champ. I mean, he is clearly the horse to beat and simply the best dirt 3-year-old in the world right now.
I will tell you, honestly, I almost had 1-5-2, which would have been very funny.
Wow.
I believe this is what I think about this race. And no, I don't, I will certainly be, asking some questions when I arrive. I wish I were there a day early, but I wasn't supposed to be there till Sunday. So I'll just have to suck it up. And I believe that they are very focused on winning the Travers, which means he doesn't have to win this race. Now, I'm not suggesting he won't win. I picked him. There is a very good chance that he is simply that much better that he could run his B+ race and still win. We'll see if Baeza, the reason I didn't pick Moplex, Howard, who I loved in the Ohio Derby, is if Baeza is going to win this race, and I'll let you guys talk about him, but he damn well better be way ahead of Sovereignty early, which he has been ridden in a way the last 2. The Derby, I can't say too much about. It's a 19-horse race, but he had no chance of winning the Belmont from where he was. I think with Berrios back on him, you look at what he did when Berrios was on him, and I'm talking about the horse you picked, so I should shut up. But my point is, if Sovereignty's going to get beat, that's how he's going to get beat. I think he'll win. It's going to be a great race for me to watch and root for him. I may use them in multis. You'll see when we get to our best bets. I used both of them. So as far as loving them, talk to me in the Travers. This is the type of race that Saratoga claims a favorite. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be him. I picked him, but if you were drawing up the type of race that they call it, the graveyard of champions or favorites, whichever you prefer, this would be it. Now, Baeza has to be good enough. I don't think Sandman is good enough under any circumstances. I shouldn't say that, under most circumstances. And I think Moplex, if you like Baeza, I don't think you can like Moplex. You have to think Baeza is going to be ridden. So we'll see. But I do think that Sovereignty is probably good enough, even if he's not cranked 100%.
Paul, is it possible that Sovereignty is better at a mile and a quarter than a mile and an eighth?
It's possible, but not probable. It is possible. But you know what? Our guy really seems to make. I was watching an interview with him, a Breeders' Cup promo interview, him going through the 23 dirt mile. I mean, he seems to make the right decisions in big races. And not saying Manny did anything wrong, but remember, Junior was hurt for that Florida Derby. That's the mile and an eighth lost. Yeah, is it possible? Yes, it is possible, especially if it's a mile and an eighth race where you have speed playing well, and you have a horse like Baeza who is either on or near the lead without much pressure.
Pete, we're both going with Baeza. I'm hoping personally to get that 3-1. I think he might be 5-2. I'm hoping not, though. I'm hoping we get the 3-1. I've been a fan of this horse, as people know, since the Derby. And in the Belmont, no one was being Sovereignty that day. No thrill in the world. Sovereignty was unbelievable in the Belmont. I mean, just fantastic. Baeza's had a bad tendency to not break great, Pete. It's not like he stumbles. It just takes him a little bit of time to get going. Once he gets going, he's got a very big high motor and a big cruising speed. That's why I really wish he drew outside. That all being said, Pete, he has been working fantastically. As Paul said, Berrios is back. I think Berrios needs to be aggressive if he wants any chance to beat Sovereignty on Saturday.
So you mentioned in our group chat earlier about the rail here. I didn't care about it because the three horses to the outside are all going to be drop back. We know Moplex is going to the lead most likely. So I just figured Baeza, even if he doesn't break great, he's still going to get a sort of the pocket trip most likely, unless he breaks absolutely horrible or something.
I hope so.
I feel like he gets the pocket trip, and that's where you want him to be. I'm looking at this. I think Paul sort of said everything, so I don't want to repeat too much. No. I don't. It's good that you did, because I think it's just that simple. Where my thought is maybe Baeza didn't love the off track as much and was too far back in the last two. I know it doesn't mean much, but if you look at the Tomlinson rating on the wet, he's a 297. If you look at Sovereignty, his two best races came in a mile and a quarter on wet tracks, just from a figure standpoint. What if he likes going a little longer? What if he relished the wet track? And what if Baeza didn't relish the mile and a quarter, or didn't relish the wet tracks as much, or being too far back? And now you get him back on a firm dirt up close where he can attack a speed horse that I think he's better than and get the lead. That's the way. I think, Paul, you said it best. That's the only way you're going to beat him. Baeza has to attack Moplex early, get a big jump. And like a horse like Sandman, it's hard to beat Sovereignty at his game. This is why journalism, I think, has had a hard time beating him. You're not going to outclose Sovereignty. You're going to have to out-quick him to the wire. And I think that's what Baeza could do here. So I think he has the lead. And when Sovereignty tries to run him down, and either you catch him or you don't, and we see who wins. But my thought was, at least there's a little something behind it, whereas maybe the firm dirt moves Baeza back up a bit, and somehow it maybe moves Sovereignty back just a touch, or he's not cranked. I know everybody has said a million times, oh, Bill Mott with a target. Well, if this isn't his target, maybe he's not as cranked. Maybe this is when you get him.
I agree with a lot of what you said, Pete. I don't think the fast versus slop is really that big difference to me.
Yeah, but we don't know.
I thought Baeza ran
know,
huge.
though.
We don't know, but I thought Baeza ran huge in the Derby and was very sloppy. So
he did run huge, but maybe he's not at his best.
Maybe.
Because maybe he wants to be
right.
up closer and fast. I'm saying if you're looking to beat a horse that's clearly the better, that's what I think needs to sort of shorten the gap a bit between the two.
This is very simple for me. Baeza got a 119, 121, 122 time form in his last three. Sovereignty was unbelievable in the Belmont with a 126, but that's a little bit of an outlier, believe it or not. If you look at the time form now, people are gonna say, "Well, he's a 3-year-old. He's gonna keep getting better." It's very simple for me, guys, and everyone listening and watching. And I may be right, I may be wrong, I may be crazy, as Billy Joel has said. Let me put this back on. I believe, and I have strong intel why, that Sovereignty is going to take a small step backward. Not because he's regressing and he's not the same and blah, 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 but for all the reasons you said, guys. He's pointing to the Belmont, or the Travers, and his works, Paul, sort of lead me to believe that that's the case. I mean, he's working great, but he's not like working super fast, just maintenance, etc. And the reason why I also believe that Sovereignty, guys, is going to regress a little bit, let me take this off the screen, is because I talked to Sovereignty and I had a little conversation with Sovereignty, and people were like, "No, you didn't." Well, let me prove everyone wrong. Hold on one second, please. As you may be aware, gentlemen.
Well, we do know, Pete, when he gets up close to a horse, we know what happens.
Yeah,
we've seen it cost us hundreds of thousands.
You better
of
call
dollars.
Godolphin now and tell them they expect to lose on Saturday, Paul, after what we're about to see.
I mean, last week, there's a few weeks ago, here's me with Sovereignty, and I'll just go ahead and play the quick audio and video here, everyone.
Sovereignty, Derby and Belmont champion.
Well, at least he knows where the meat is. He went right for the gut there. He knows.
Easy.
Hey, trust me, that's where he'd be going on me too.
But I had a little conversation with him. I speak horses, and he said, I'm really confident. I don't think I need to try as hard as I need to win this race, guys. I think he's a little arrogant coming this race. I don't think he's cranked up, and I don't know. The horse mystery tells me that he's not ready, but in all seriousness, I just think Baez is going to take a step forward and Cybers going to take a little step back, and they're not that far apart. Yes, in the Belmont.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Hold on.
That's not true.
Yeah, Paul, the Belmont is the only race, they've only raced against each other twice. Are we saying that he was tons the best in the Derby over Baeza based on the trip?
Well, what do you mean the trip? Baeza had a bad trip in the Derby?
Well, he was breaking for the 20 hole and he had weaved through. I mean, he didn't have nearly as good trip and was rolling.
Sovereignty was in like the 18, by the way.
I understand.
So
look, here's my point.
I talked about Baeza, don't get me wrong, but don't say there's not an appreciable difference.
I don't think there is.
You said he was the best. Oh, so Baeza is among the best 3-year-olds in the world then?
Yes.
All right. Well, you better hope you're right.
The numbers say he is.
The numbers say his best number is 7 points below Sovereignty on the Baeza.
Not according to time form.
Well, I know you're in the gospel of time form. I get it.
Well, even the buyers, Paul, he's got 3 straight 100+ buyers.
This is I don't want to talk down to Baeza, but
that's their best. Sovereignty
journalism
is better.
Yes, if they both run their A+ race, Sovereignty is clearly the better animal. I think on Saturday, Baeza is going to run his A-, and Sovereignty's going to run his B, and he's going to beat him by half a length.
That's fine, but that's different than saying they're close, because that means if they're close and they both run their best race, it shouldn't be a clear win.
Well, they're not going to run their best race because these races are not in a vacuum.
You said Baeza is close to Sovereignty.
I don't think he's that far off Sovereignty, but I don't think Sovereignty's going to run his best race on Saturday.
Well, that's two different things. So
Yeah,
you
okay.
don't think he's far off if Sovereignty doesn't run his best race?
No, I think he's better than Sovereignty if Sovereignty doesn't run his best race on Saturday.
That might be true.
If
but
they
in
both
the-
run their A+ race, Sovereignty is 2 to 3 lengths better than Baeza. But I don't think
Okay, well,
that's a
that's-
huge
that's-
difference in a mile and a quarter race, in my opinion. Anyway,
yes.
that's okay.
Do we expect
that's
that
all right.
Baeza is coming here to then run in the Travers?
100%, Pete.
No
So,
doubt. That's
do
the
you
other
think
thing,
he's
guys,
going to
right?
be at his best for this? Or
Yeah,
will
I
he
think
be at
so.
his
I'll
best
tell
for
you
the
why. Let
That's
me
what I
let me.
want.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Pete. Let me tell you
No,
why.
please go ahead.
We could talk about this forever. We have 2 more races to cover, but I don't think Sheriffs, who's a very conservative guy, I'm assuming you guys agree, would send him all the way across the country if the intent here was not to also go into the Travers. And I think Sheriffs is here to see what Baeza's got. And I think if Baeza does not run well Saturday, when I say well, I mean within a few lengths, within a length or 2 of Sovereignty, he's not going to Travers. I think he'll rest him up for the Penn Derby or some other spot. But I think Baeza has everything to prove on Saturday, and Sovereignty has nothing to prove on Saturday. And based on that, and based on the works, and based on Barrios, I wouldn't even mind this horse being on the lead, Pete. I don't think Moplex is like sending hard. I think he's going to naturally be fast. But if Baeza breaks well, I wouldn't mind Barrios saying, F it, I'm just going to go to lead. I'd be totally fine with that. He's got to get the jump. If he's on the lead, if he's on the lead,
you might
if he's
get
on the, and I don't want him in the pocket either, Pete. I'll tell you what I want. I want Baeza to break better than he has. Moplex will go, and then he just comes around and just sits right off the hip of Moplex, goes by him, and Sovereignty can't quite get there. That's what the vision I have in my head. Agree or disagree, people in the comments in the chat. Go ahead, guys. I just rambled. I'll let you finish.
No, I don't. I think we're good. I think we all know where we stand.
Now, just for the record, Tyler Connor rode Fierce and Strong, not Surface. Fierce and Surface to Air was the unfortunate. We don't want to talk about.
Let's not talk about that. Yeah.
So that was not a Freudian slip, Howard. I promise you. No, look at. I started out by saying I think he can get beat. So I see what you're saying. All I'm saying is, on their respective both best days, I think if they 10 times out of 10, Sovereignty beats them if they both run their race.
And I don't see this happening at all. I would be completely shocked. The only way Moplex wins this race is if Baeza doesn't break well and they go 49 to the half. I suppose those are possible. I just don't. Moplex is going to have to improve a ton to win this race. I just don't see it at all.
Howard,
by the way, Sean O'Neill said Baeza's thoroughgraph numbers show a slight regression.
Wow,
Sovereignty has paired zeros. Look, Baeza didn't run great, Pete, in the last race. I mean, he was ranked. He was in between. I picked him, so I was wrong, completely wrong on the Belmont. I feel much better about this race for all the reasons we talked about. Anyway, you got Sandman, who could improve with blinkers on.
With blinkers, that's a factor, Howard. They understand. All these trainers keep hearing the same thing. If you're a closer, you better not be behind Sovereignty because you're not going to run by him. So I think it's one of the I like Moplex a lot as a horse, and I think Jeremiah is the best. But one of the reasons I don't like him in this race is I agree with you, Howard. I won't be shocked. I think Barrios is on not a dead send, but a pretty aggressive send. PTR Sheriffs has said, Pete, that let's face it, the horse didn't run well in the Belmont, might not have liked the track, too far behind, whatever. He wants to get another run in him over this track with the intention of coming back for the
agree.
Travers.
Yeah, that's what I would hope.
And I do think Sandman will be a little more aggressive. So, and trust me, I hope they're all aggressive and Sovereignty just sits fifth behind a 4-way battle, which would be fine with me.
Well, Paul, they better run well today because today's Curlin, I don't see anyone in today's Curlin even sniffing Sovereignty or
You mean the fastest horse alive isn't going to win it?
I mean, I don't know. I was completely wrong about the Curlin today. I will admit it here on air.
But you know what? Let's give a cheer for our old friend Chancer.
I mean, I didn't see that coming. I don't
even know how he
I
was.
used him, Howard. I had to. You know what, Howard? I can't not. I had to. I'm already setting up having a beer with Sean Flanagan next week. And
there we go. D. Casanisi, I believe. Sorry, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Howard, unless Sovereignty does not break well, he wins against these on any surface, distance, or on any track. Look, I know there's a ton of love. I love the horse. You just saw me. I love Sovereignty. Absolutely love him. that doesn't mean I have to bet him on Saturday, Pete. I mean, this
No.
is a gambling game. So anyway,
Correct.
guys, we need to move on here. Gabriel Espinosa's in the chat. I think that's Tom's son, by the way. What's up, Gabriel? I see
Hey.
Condon Lyons also in the chat. Thanks, Condon, joining the show. Guys, we're going to do this very quickly because I want to end by like 9:10, and Paul's got a rant. Here we go, guys. Race 11 is a main special weight, mile of 16th. The rail is out 27 feet on the Mellon. New York breds, wide open field. Number 9, Hello Beauty for Sisterson and Tori is the favorite. Let's go and see our picks here. I'm going 5, 3, 4. Paul's going 10, 9, 1. How about that? 6 complete different horses in this race. Amazing. And Pete is going with a top horse that neither Paul or I have in the top 3. This is a total cluster. Pete's going 6, 1, 9. Let's talk about this quickly. Paul, first time starter, Starship Pegasus, Nevin Castellano, very nicely bred.
Yeah, now Nevin's numbers aren't great. First time starters on turf, 2 for 40, which is really not good. However, if you look at the breeding of this horse, obviously the Uncle Mo's can run on anything. His 2-year-old first time starters win at 14%. Throw in turf, it goes up to 15. His dam and 4 sibs, 1 on turf. He is a half to Spirit of St. Louis.
Her, by the way, beverage time.
I got nothing to drink. She's a half to a damn good New York bred named Spirit of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with the breeding over the trainer stats here at what I think is going to be a price and what I think is a fairly open race. I'm not loving. I picked them second, but I'm not cutting in line, as they say, to bet the Tory is the favorite here, a horse who's gotten beat 6 times.
Paul, how about Concord Kid dropping Spirit of St. Louis, Bar of Gold? I'm just kidding. Landmine was a nice horse. I mean, my goodness, what
unbelievable!
Unbelievable.
Bar of Gold, Breeders' Cup Sprint, right? Bar of Gold, Philly and Mare Sprint, rather.
Philly and Mare Sprint at like 9,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a broodmare, Concord Kid. Pete, you're going to go with the 6, and that is Nona Lynn. Is that coming out of the same race? Yes, coming out of the Will of a Woman race, and that's what I've got, Will of a Woman. So I will show that stretch run, but talk about Nona Lynn, 6 to 1. Chad Franco, who won the last race today, and I think 4 to 1, I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking at a horse that under Chad, I feel like I liked the race last time. It was just a little too far back. That you're gonna show. Are you gonna show the race?
I am. Watch the 4 and the 5, everyone. I'll let you talk it through. Hold on. Let me go further. My horse is the 4 on the inside. Your horse is the 5 coming in the teal silks there, I believe.
Yeah, and the issue was the 9 sort of gets away here, and that hurt. So the 9 ran a really good race, gets away, but then as you can see coming, like you said, you see the 5, and you see your horse on the rail there, that 4. They start eating into this gap pretty late, and they almost get there. So I just thought the 9 just the 9 just got a better trip where it just got to jump on them. But I really liked with the 5, Nona Lynn, or the 6, I should say the 6. Apologies here. The 6 did in that race, coming off a relatively long layoff, only second start. So I'm looking at that as there could be just a crap load of improvement from that race to this one. And then if we could get a little bit of pace, and again, you don't expect a horse to kick away like that and just get away that easily. I mean, that 9 looked like a monster for about a few strides there. So I just think this one, maybe second time out for the year, maybe gets a little bit closer, maybe doesn't have to run down a horse that gets away so far. So, and I'm with you on the 5. I had the 5 as like the next horse almost did. So they both were impressive to me.
I mean, it's also possible that was a bad race, and those are just two not very good horses, right?
But I just think they're all about the same here for the most part.
Your 6 had to go, or the 5 in that race, but the 6 on Saturday. Your 6 had to go wide. Mine did save ground, but I thought mine was in a weird spot and couldn't find room. Then
I thought Johnny V got a weird ride.
Yeah. Once she got out, I thought she had run, and then she was in between, and that was her first start going long and on turf. So I just the 6 is possible. Also, I thought the 5 might have a little more upside, but we're splitting hairs. I think really Hello Beauty is definitely the horse to beat.
Timeform liked that race. Those two, by the way, Timeform
liked
that race a lot more than Buyer did. So the Buyer looks low, but the Timeform is better.
Thank you. Hello Beauty's 0 for 6, but how about 6 races, guys, against Open Company? That's a big difference. Now
I had
facing
a
New
hard
York
time.
Reds.
I had a hard time figuring out how to weigh that. Where the open company coming back to state bred here, how
Yeah.
much that's going to benefit her. I don't know, Paul.
I-
What do you think on that? What do you normally do on that?
I think it should benefit her, Pete, but I don't. I don't love betting horses at low odds that have proven one thing, that they don't get to the line
That
first.
they like to lose, yeah.
But she has him losing against these, right? That
That's
doesn't matter
what's
to you, Paul, right?
exactly. Yeah.
She's the fresh face, though, right?
Without, I would agree with that. Yes.
Okay.
I could see using her for that reason.
Last race, guys, maiden 50. This is a complete cluster. I thought they're going on the turf, mile of 16. Tough way to end it. Look at this. Look at these odds. There is a more line favorite, number 7, Fateful Lightning, for Cox and Franco, 2-1. I think this is, at least in my opinion, clearly the horse to beat. Whoops. Oh, we're not. Where's our ticker? Hold on, Bob. Sorry about that. Let me get that scroll there. I'm going 7, 8, 10. Paul is going 6, 11, 10. So Paul doesn't actually like the 7. And Pete is going 10, 9, 7. Wow, I like the 7 a lot more than you guys. Let's quickly talk about your top choices. Pete, you can go first with Hedge the Risk for Dylan and Chad at 9-2, the 10 horse.
Yeah, go another Chad here for the Chad double. This is one that's dropping, so dropped out of maiden special into maiden 100 last time. Ran much better. That was the first start in almost a year, basically. So I just assumed there's going to be improvement. Now we're taking a drop down to maiden 50. Chad Brown, 43% win, 71% the money with a 50% claiming tag drop. I just thought got knocked around. Like when you watch that last race, and don't put it on or anything, but this horse got really knocked around early, had to steady really badly. And yeah, I saw that. Terry, that's bold in that
There we
race.
go,
I don't know
Terry.
if I single anybody in that race, but that's pretty bold, Terry, but I like it. But yeah, the 10 got really knocked around and steadied really badly in that last race, and then made a move and then just sort of flattened out. But it was the first time on turf, first time routing, first time running in like 11 months. So I can excuse a lot of that. And now I think coming back, I think Chad should have this one ready. And if we can get a 9-2 price on a Chad Klarovich horse on the turf, shit, I'll take that anytime.
No doubt. D believes, I think it's at Cosanasi, I think is probably how it's pronounced.
It's probably
D agrees
Cosanici, you know,
Oh,
Italian.
Cosanici. There you go.
Yes.
Good call. That's probably what it is. You're right. Thank you.
And
And
it's
and with the
definitely
accent
what
too.
it is if Pete thinks it is and you don't.
Well, it's Italian. It's Cosanici sounds a lot more realistic to me. So thanks, D. I just like him because he agrees with me. I mean, so there you go. Let's see. Paul, you're gonna go with the 6. That would be Majestic Michael. Oh, look, Amelia Green, former assistant to Mr. Pletcher. Gelding in for the 50 with a drop down. First time turf, a Justify 5-year-old. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to will one of Amelia. I'm a huge Amelia fan. I think she's going to really be good. I could be wrong, but I'm trying to will one of her horses to get her a win at Saratoga. Although this horse is dropping, right? And I like horses. First of all, we've talked, it's the biggest drop in racing. We get it, right? But I do especially like horses when they drop that have been forward at the maiden special level. And this horse has been forward 3 times.
Yeah.
You got to deal with, I'm justified by a smart strike mare. I'm fine with the turf. And Kendrick has experience with the horse, and we know Kendrick lives to be forward. So I don't know. I this is one of those, last race of the day, maiden claimer turf routes that tends to blow up, and if 8-1 qualifies as blow up, I'll take it.
This feels like a dead send. I mean, it's Kendrick with gelding and never been on turf, and if that's what I would do, I would say Kendrick, just go. Let's just see what this horse can do. Not impossible. I'm going to chalk out
real quick. Amelia Green, 3 for 7 wins, 5 for 7 of the money, dirt to turf in her limited amount of races over the years. So that's a pretty good stat. As few times as she doesn't have a big sample size for the year, so obviously
she's going to make it big. She's the next Cherie DeVoe.
Wow!
I like that.
Hey Pete, while I talk about the 7, can you look up that stat with maidens if she's ever done that with maidens?
Yeah.
And you can interrupt me at any point here. Fateful Lightning, I'm chalking out. I just think that he's by far coming out of the toughest races. I mean, Esmark came back and won. Tomasello came back and won. Bulldoze faced at Gulfstream. Mayor Midnight is a nice horse for Chad that ran a 1 3/8 race recently. Do I love the drop for 50? No. I just think Brad knows what he's got here. My only concern is that he's going to be too far back. I'm hoping Franco gets him in the mix. If he's in the mix, I think this is clearly the class of this race, and I would take as low as maybe 8-5 on the win end. I just think I'll be singling this horse probably, and then just if it's not him, it could be many others. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Howard, you had 1 out of 5 wins, 3 out of 5 in the money, and then one of the horses actually eased. So something must have went wrong. So that's not one to even worry about. So she's done it even with the maidens. So that's impressive. Yeah.
Okay. Good. It's something to consider.
Yeah, I had nothing on the 7. The 7 looks pretty obvious. There's not a lot to.
Yeah, I'm not
dislike.
Getting cute there. Let's go with our best bets, and then we'll get to Paul's rant and then the show. Pete, you are going to race 11 with a tri-key box, the 6 with 1, 3, 5, 9, 10. That is in race 11, the maiden special weight New York bred race, right?
Yeah, that's that Nona Lynn horse with a bunch. I feel like that one's wide open. You can maybe get a nice trifecta with a couple prices in there. We get the favorite out. Get that 9 out, hopefully.
And then you're going to win bet on the 10 that we just talked about in this race. Paul, you're going to go with a pick 3 starting in the race before the Jim Dandy, and then the Jim Dandy in the middle, and then the difficult New York main race that we just talked about 5 minutes ago. You're going 2, 4, 10 with 1, 5 with 1, 10. And as you pointed out, you're going to use Baeza evenly with Sovereignty in this pick 3.
Yeah, and that's because the horses I'm using on the end of it, I think will be okay price wise. I believe the morning line on the horses I'm using is 6-1 and 8-1. So, that's not a very efficient type of ticket, but for the purposes of putting up one ticket, there you go.
Yeah. And you're not going to be able to see the board for the 10, so you don't really know if the 10 is going to be live in that bet. You're just going to, in the last race of that sequence, you're just going to go off of faith there. My best bet, I'm going to race 8, and I'm going to be bold here. I think race 8 and 9 are very difficult, guys. I'm spreading a lot. I'm going 2, 3. I'm playing a pick 3 to start the pick 5. I'm going 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 with 3, 4, 5, 8, 10. I'm going to single Baeza, guys, because I figure in a pick 3, I'm going to get a lot more equity there than I would in the win bet, right? So $50 for 2. Look, Baeza doesn't win. He doesn't win. I've been wrong before. I was wrong today with a really nice Chad horse that didn't win. This is it for me. Baeza needs to run a monster race. Otherwise, I'm going to downgrade him and not think nearly as high. Of all the horses running on Saturday across the country, I think Baeza is the one I'm most looking forward to seeing run. Mr. Hallen, we got a few minutes here left. I know you have something you'd like to rant, sir. I'm going to open up the screen here just for you. Paul Halloran's rant of the week.
I want to start with a quick positive, Howard. Congratulations to our friend Gabby Gaudette. It was announced today that she is the new director of communications at Keeneland. A big move for her coming off FanDuel, which she's been on for many years and is outstanding. It's a decision made in the interest of her family. Obviously, her husband's Nom Cassie. They live in Louisville, and this is more of a not necessarily a 7-day-a-week, year-round job. So Gabby will be great. I think it's good for all of us certainly in the media who attend Keeneland and want to wish her the best. She is the best. I don't want to keep going back to this whip rule, Howard, but I watched the replay of the Haskell on Sunday or Monday, and I said, I'm going to start my timer. The clock is ticking before this moronic whip rule violation, because I knew he had hit him too many times. I mean, I could see it. Okay. Jose Ortiz, Howard, lost very closely in the Curlin today to Chancer. Obviously, the 3 didn't fire in the stretch, but it was a pretty good stretch battle. Jose Ortiz is quoted in the quotes that NYRA sent out. He was cognizant of how many times he hit the horse, and hesitated to hit him one more time. That is a $135,000 stakes race. I'm going to take Jose at his word. Okay. And, we can debate whether if you're the trainer, you want him thinking like that. That's not the point. The point that we have jockeys in $135,000 stakes races that if that 3-horse one, Howard, that you liked, he's going to the Travers out of that race, right? Chad said it at the quarter pole. I started thinking about the Travers. So we now have jockeys in the middle of the race where they have to make instant decisions on a day that tragically a jockey got hurt badly. We're going to have them thinking, oh, can I or can I not hit this horse one too many times? Give me an effing break, will you? Overall, I think Heisa has been a good thing. This is stupid, and I keep seeing the comments on Twitter. Oh, what can't you understand? It's a rule. I know it's an effing rule. It's a stupid rule. I have a brain. I know it's a rule. I know they're going to get penalized. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be penalized if that's the rule. I'm saying it's a stupid effing rule. Change it. That's all.
Tell us how you really feel, Paul.
Hey, Paul, real quick. Do you know what the mechanism is for them to change rules? Like, can they do it instantaneous? Could they say, hey, you know what? This is stupid. Let's change it immediately. Do you have any idea? I don't know enough about it.
People. My feeling is it's a Heisa rule, and Heisa can change it.
That's what I'm assuming.
I didn't know if they have to go to Congress to change it, because if they do, forget it.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure.
They're a private entity. There's no committee, Pete. They can change it just like that.
They can change it like that. Yeah. Then it's really just.
Pete, all I want is this: to them to understand there is a difference between the grade $1 million Haskell and a $5,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime at Parks on Wednesday, where the guy's hitting the horse 32 times in the stretch. Okay,
I'm with you.
I know they're all horses. Please don't lecture me on the need to take care of them, because any of you who want to make that lecture, I've spent more time around them than you have. So I get it. Okay. My point is, if there's a jockey, if there's an inquiry, say there's contact in a race, like there could have been today, Howard, what happens? It goes up to the booth, the stewards look at it, and they say disqualification or no disqualification. Can't we do that with this stupid whip rule? Oh, yeah, you know what? He hit him a half time too many times in a $1 million grade 1 race. He was trying to straighten him out, whatever. We can't have any discretion. It's got to just be black and white. I think that's
I agree. I agree with you. So I don't want to sound like I'm going the other way. I agree. You have a horse who's maybe in 9th and the jockey's still whipping him in the lane for no apparent reason. Then you punish. But yeah, have discretion, have some objectivity or subjectivity, I should say. And then
it's so arbitrary and subjective. Who's to say how many times a horse should or should not be whipped?
But like
in
you're
the
saying,
stretch.
if the horse is going the wrong way, and you have to whip him to straighten him out.
There's trying to win $1 million race, and then there's abuse. Let's just call it like it is.
Correct.
What Paco whipped that horse after the race once, and that was one too many times.
Correct.
What journalism and Umberto did was completely justified. I mean, it's just, or I don't want these jocks, men or women, whipping the horse to try to finish 5th by 10 instead of 6th by 11, 25 times in the goddamn stretch. It's almost as bad a rule as the coupling, Paul. And by the way, there was a race today with 2 coupled entries in New York. And I thought about you immediately, my friend.
No, there was a race with 3.
There's 4 horses there's 2 horses in that one race. A bunch of them are in the MTO or AE.
There was a 3 and a 3X, I think.
We don't have time. There's another show coming on.
Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks, Paul. We all agree with you, my friend. Great show. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Pacific Horse Players coming up in 20 minutes, 9:30 Eastern here on Thursday. I hope everyone watches it, because this late pick 5 at Del Mar on Saturday is absolutely outstanding. Last thing very quickly, Weekend Warriors shows Saturday and Sunday. Check out YouTube, and Saratoga Today morning shows Saturday and Sunday. All the information is on YouTube. For Pete Visco and Paul Howen, this has been your host, Howard Kravitz, a very energetic and fun episode 420 of Picks and Ponies. Crush your bets Saturday at Saratoga. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
It's, if you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.